Let's start by creating a sample application. If you are not sure about how to create a sample application, you can check that in the setup video in our course material. What we will do is we will just quickly deploy this application and see how it works. So I am using iPhone XR simulator. Yep, our application is now deployed. We'll just quickly check this one, so it's working fine. Now that we have seen that the sample application created by the Flutter framework is working perfectly fine, now we will see how to apply our learning in the sample application. So for that, I will remove all the other classes, but I need this home page. So the home page, by default, you can give any container. So there is no problem in giving that. If you save it, you will get a blank page. That's it. It does absolutely nothing. So this is one way you can start learning this. So the a minimal Flutter application has a app. Here in this case, we are using MaterialApp. Then it has some theme data. It is not a mandatory thing, but it is always good to give theme data. In later sessions, we will learn how to choose theme data dynamically. And it has a home page. This home page is mandatory. So if you don't provide a home page, Flutter throws some exceptions, so it is mandatory parameter. So you have to give home page. This is entire screen, nothing but entire screen. Now, as we are going to demonstrate the use of scaffold, what we will do is we will just provide a default scaffold. That's it. This is a simple scaffold. Now let's quickly save this. So if you have seen, yeah. So once you save that, you have seen that the scaffold put up a white background. So this is the bare basic thing we will get if you are providing a scaffold. So next thing, we will start building one by one, and we will see how that looks on the UI. So next thing which we have learned was AppBar. So the AppBar is the top AppBar. In Flutter, it is called AppBar itself. So let's quickly give AppBar and see how does it look. Yep, you have seen that we have given AppBar, and it actually draw a blue shade on the top AppBar area. So that is one good thing, that we are going in the right direction. So the next important thing which we are going to give is home page, body. You can give null value to body. It does absolutely nothing if you give null. What it does is it will check the value of the body parameter. If the body parameter is null, it paints the background in whatever color the scaffold supports. As of now, it supports white now. And what we do is we'll just provide a container for the body parameter, and that's enough for time being now for the body. And bottom navigation bar is nothing but it's a row. For the time being, just provide it as a row. So another thing which we have learned from the scaffold is floating action button. This floating action button is, again, it is called floating action button there in Flutter. So here you have seen that it has some underline there in that end. So what it means is there are some mandatory or the required parameters missing. So almost all the buttons requires on pressed. So let's quickly give on pressed, but we will not provide any implementations there in that one. Now we have seen that there's a floating action button also displayed on the bottom right part. For the time being, we are interested only in AppBar, body, bottom navigation bar, and floating action buttons. So we are going to provide implementations for, or we are going to provide configurations for each and every components. A title is a simple text widget. I can provide it as a simple text widget. So I would provide a simple text widget, and product text fold demo home page. So let's save that, and yep, you have seen that it's dynamically displayed now. The hot reload is one of the beauty Flutter provides. Now another important thing which an AppBar has is the leading one. So leading widget is nothing but it would be displayed on the left to the title, so that we can pass an icon button. So the icon button also you have seen there is an underscore. So the underscore mean there is something missing which is a required parameter. So it's nothing but, as I mentioned earlier, the function, the on press callback, that is mandatory there in this one. So what we'll do is we'll just give that. And another thing, in order to display something on the icon button, what you have to do is you have to give an icon to that. So icon is another one. I'll give menu to this one. So yep, the leading is now having a menu. So this is how it displays in almost all the applications. So similar to leading, we have another one called actions. So actions are list of buttons where user can perform a particular actions. So in this case, we are going to create two buttons. Both are icon buttons itself, icon button. So the first parameter is icon, which I am going to provide icon data, icons dot contacts. So that's the first one, and a mandatory parameter is missing on pressed, that I'm going to, and we are going to give a dummy implementation for that. And the second is another icon button. The icon is one argument, and settings. So this is one another one, and mandatory parameter on pressed, that's another one. Yeah, so now we have added two buttons to the right of the title. So this is how it looks. If you see that the quick to reload actually displayed all the components immediately once we reload that one. Now we would actually go out and provide some implementation for the body. This is, I'm just create it as home page. Okay, yeah, this is one. We'll quickly see. Yeah, home page. Now we have seen that home page is added to the content area. So this white section you are seeing here is the content area. So the home page is now added to the content area. In the next session, we will provide support for bottom navigation bar and floating action button. Also, we will implement all the callback functions which are registered in the icon buttons earlier in the session.